Okay, so hi everyone, I'm Gracie. I am the social media marketing intern for the Title IX office. I would like to thank you all for taking your time and being at our event tonight.
Hi, my name is Ciara Richmond. I am one of the LGBTQ plus resource committee interns, and I would also like to say thank you for coming.
Okay, so since there's a lot of you, for Jeopardy, we're gonna once we share our screen, we're gonna go through the categories. And instead of everyone picking a category, we're just gonna jump around. If you know the answer, use the raise your hand button on Zoom or feel free to put it in the chat. And don't worry, there's no wrong answers. It's just kind of a fun thing to to learn a little more and have fun. Okay, so for our first questions, we'll start off easy. So we'll go for true or false 200. So if you guys put true or false in the chat, or feel free to unmute and answer. Okay, so true or false? Plan B is more expensive than birth control. So if you know it, go ahead. All right, so the answer is true. So good job for everyone that said true. Okay, so for the next one, we're going to do Law 200. So permission for anything to happen is also known as this. All right, so I see a lot of you guys putting consent, and yes, that's correct. Okay, so this injectable hormone prevents pregnancy up to 3 months. Also, while you guys are answering this one, if someone wants to pick a category and an amount in the chat, go ahead. I'll just say the first one that someone picked. Yep, so it is the depot shot, the DPO shot. You guys are all these answers are great. So if someone wants to pick a category, go ahead. If you want to unmute and say it, feel free. We'll do law 600 first and then condoms 400. So the crime of having sex with someone underage is referred to as blank. Yes, the correct answer is statutory rape. Okay, so for our next category, we'll do condoms 400. And it is condoms are the only way to prevent the spread of yes, it is the only way to prevent the spread of STIs, or otherwise known as STDs. It looks like our next category is condoms 200. Okay, so besides the vasectomy, this is the only available form of birth control for men. Yes, the correct answer is condom. Did anyone else have a category that they put in the chat that I might have missed? If not, please share one now or feel free to unmute. Okay, first we'll do true or false 400. True, true or false, on average, 120 million people have sexual intercourse a day. Yes, the correct answer is true. Next, we'll do law for 1,000. In the US, birth control was legalized in So the correct answer is 1960. Next, we will do STIs 400. Blank percent of people who have an STD show no noticeable symptoms. So I see some of you with the correct answer. It is 80%. Okay, so that's all of them that you guys said. So if anyone else has one, go ahead and put it in the chat. All right, law 800. In these two instances, a person cannot give consent. Yes, so the answer is someone who is incapacitated or someone who is physically and mentally disabled. And these are really good answers in the chat. So thank you, everyone. And then our next category looks like it's going to be STIs for 200. One in blank college students has an STD or STI. Okay, so all these answers are really close, but it is 1 in 4 college students. It looks like our next one is going to be true or false for 1,000. True or false? You could still have an STI for months or even years without having any symptoms. Yes, the correct answer is in fact true. Again, if anyone else wants to put in the chat really quick a category, or you guys can unmute, you can talk to. Okay, we'll do contraception 600. You must be at least blank years old to buy an emergency contraceptive over the counter. So I see a lot of you saying 18, but actually at 17, you can buy one over the counter. Our next category is going to be law 400. All right, our last one for the law. So blank is the age of sexual consent in New York State. The age of consent is 17. So good job. Let me just check for our next category. Contraceptives 200. So blank is the most effective form of birth control. Looks like everyone got this one. It is abstinence. It looks like our next category, let me just check. Doesn't look like we have a next category. So if anyone wants to drop in the chat, or you can pick random, Sierra. Oh, condoms 1000. Condoms are most commonly made out of these two materials. All right, so the correct answer is latex and polyurethane. Sorry if I pronounced that wrong. Good job. A lot of you guys got latex. Anyone have one? A category to put in the chat? We'll do true or false 600. Okay, so true or false? A condom shelf life lasts longer than 3 years. All right, so the correct answer is false. It actually only lasts for around 2 years, the shelf life. Yes, so they expire after 2 years. Let's do, looks like STI 4000. 3/4 of the sexually active population has had blank virus. So the correct answer is HPV. Anyone else have a category? We only got a few left. Contraceptives 800. Okay, so combined oral contraceptives have these two hormones. So the correct answer is estrogen and progesterone. Let's do true or false 800. That's just because that's the first one I saw. So true or false, alcohol makes plan B ineffective. Yes, so the correct answer is false. It looks like we'll do condom 600. This is the percent of college students who use condoms regularly during vaginal intercourse. Are there any other guesses? Some of you are close, but not quite. If anyone has a last minute guess before I give the answer.
This number is actually very random, so you could throw any number out there.
I think so far we have one that's pretty close, but not quite. All right, any final guesses? Oh, okay, we got our closest one. So the correct answer is what is 54%. So good job with that one. Who said 56? That's very close. All right. We don't have a next category, so if you just want to pick Sierra, unless someone drops one, click in the chat. STIs, yes, 800. So this virus can only be transmitted by exchanging bodily fluids. Yep, so almost all of you guys, or I think all of you guys got this. It is HIV. Good job. Anyone else have one? There's only 3 left. Okay, contraceptives, 1,000. So this form of birth control has the benefit of protecting against pelvic inflammatory disease. Any more guesses? The correct answer for this one is the patch. All right, condoms or STIs? If you guys want to just, all right, condoms.
Before we go on to condoms, it is very common for IUDs as well, to prevent against pelvic inflammatory diseases.
If used correctly and consistently, a condom can prevent pregnancy this percent of the time. All right, so a few of you got this one. It is 97% of the time. All right, so for our last one, STIs for 600. So blank is the most common curable STD. Yes, everyone answering in. You all got that one. It is chlamydia. All right. So does anyone have any questions following up from the game? No questions?
Does anybody have any statements, or does anybody would like to say what they learned or what they already knew?
Will the information shared with us tonight in this game be posted anywhere else, like on our, for us to find?
This recording will be uploaded to the Title IX YouTube channel.
Awesome, thank you.
Was it any, or if you want to share if anyone was shocked by any of the answers or the numbers?
I was kind of surprised how many of us thought that like Plan B was cheaper than birth control.
I would agree, like not little stuff, but like there were some nuances that I just never realized, like even like percentages, like the last question about like the effectiveness of condoms, like some things have fluctuated in the past few years, so it's just interesting to see those like minute changes.
A lot of the numbers I was unfamiliar with, but I feel like most of the information like we learned in health class in high school, so I remembered most of it.
Yeah, I see someone said it was a good refresher. I think a lot of people probably agree.
I actually had a question. So I don't know if you guys all know the answer to this, but like I've seen that they're coming out with like a male birth control that's like they can like take it like orally or something like that. Has anybody else like heard of that or seen that? Because when they asked the question about that, I was like, I don't know if they're talking about that or if they're talking about condoms.
I've seen that too, Amy. I've heard it's kind of like our birth control pill, but for guys, there's just a lot of side effects, which there is for ours too. But like, it's not something normal for the guys, so it's not as accepted, I guess.
Yeah, when I was reading about it, they had said the reason why it wasn't coming out is because of the side effects, which when you read the side effects are very similar to what females get when they use birth control. But since the guys are not used to it and or could become problematic, it hasn't rolled out.
And they're used to relying on girls to have birth control.
Does anybody else have any comments or anything they would just want to say? Like an open discussion type of thing.
Do you think there's like a push for more gender inclusive language when discussing like sexual health education and sexual health in general?
This is a question for me personally or for everybody?
For everybody, just kind of wanted to like put like a topic out there to see what people's opinions are.
Well, can you just repeat the question so that people can hear it again?
Yeah, just more curious on like what people's thoughts are on like a push for more gender inclusive language when discussing like sexual health education and sexual health in general.
I know that when I took health class, there was a lot of heteronormative language, but same-sex intercourse was also discussed. But I had a slightly more progressive health teacher, so that might be why. I don't know necessarily about gender diversity as opposed to like sexual orientation when it comes to intercourse.
I would agree with what Allison said. I also had like sex ed and health class in mostly like, and things are spoken about in a mostly heteronormative sense, but it's not to say that that's okay. But I think in order to change that, other things have to start shifting too. You know, it's like that whole like phenomena of like, don't only refer to doctors as male or like, you know, nurses as female, stuff like that. You know what I mean? So I think it's important. It just like we have to start shifting our language about other things, and then like the sexual health and stuff will come with that.
I thought those are pretty. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just asking if anybody else wanted to answer your question, Sarah.
I'll just say I think that was a really good question, and kind of how we kind of see our world as progressing more to being changing our terms and stuff. So I think maybe even if our generation health classes didn't have that, I definitely think in the future we are going to see terms change. So that is something that personally I haven't seen a lot of, but I think we can be looking out for that, as I do think this will be changing. With that, does anyone have any other comments or questions?
Well, if nobody has any more questions or comments, we would just like to say thank you for coming. And we hope that you could take the information that you learned today and share it with somebody else.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You guys did a great job.
This was
Thank
really
you.
helpful. Thank you both.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Have a good night.